Hello again to all the extraordinary people subscribed to this YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. HemingwayLand.com, your source, quality, affordable land. This is our preview, the weekly one, of all the properties going live on the website for tomorrow, July the 2021. Before I get to that, guys, announcements. First up, guys, I would be remiss if I did not give you a fair warning, little heads up. The next Friday, July the 30th, is National Cheesecake Day. Yes, National Cheesecake Day. I found out about this. The Cheesecake Factory recently announced they were going to have a new flavor on their menu. And let me just preface by saying I am not shilling for the Cheesecake Factory. No one would ever pay me to endorse a product. But the Cheesecake Factory announced they were going to have a coconut cream flavored cheesecake they'd be adding on July 30th. At which point, for those of us who've looked at their menu before, I wondered, how do they not already have this flavor on? They've got like 100 flavors of cheesecake. How is that not one of them? I don't know, but it'll premiere on the menu on National Cheesecake Day. So whether you live close to one or you don't, go and get a piece of cheesecake, guys. A little extra cardio this week, a little extra jazzercise, whatever you do. And cheesecake next Friday. That's number one. Number two, we added a new page to the website this past week. Perhaps some of you have already seen it. Title Escrow FAQ. FAQ, of course, is short for Frequently Asked Questions, which is something I all too many times have to explain to people on the phone. Not as much as I've had to explain that Ernest Hemingway was a famous author who wrote a lot of good books. But nonetheless, a lot of people don't know what that means. Anyway, we've added a new page to the website because, as I was talking about in a video from a couple weeks ago, we got 2 months into a transaction before a buyer realized that there was no financing offered. Even though they had to sign a pretty easy-to-read one-page contract that said all of the money was due at close of it. Don't get me started. Anyway, the point, guys, is that added a new page here because it's evident to me that people don't know a lot about this process and choose to keep it a secret from us and don't ask us questions they should be asking. So, in the interest of full disclosure, to help better inform customers, potential customers, we have added this to the website. In the typical sort of question and answer format that I like to, well, format these things. This will answer every question, common ones that we get about the title escrow process. So if you yourself have some questions about this, you should check this out. Anyway, title escrow FAQ under the How It Works section. There you go. Anyway, guys, those are the announcements for this week. I do want to thank all the past buyers from this past week. A list which includes, hang on, guys, in Socorro County, we had Christian and Cletus. Alexis bought 2 properties from us, and Kanisha, returning customer Kanisha, bought 2 properties last Thursday, one before I made the weekly video and one after, so thank you to her again for the second purchase. And we also had 2 people give us a free $500 this week. Don't get me started on that either. So 2 properties went pending for about a combined total of 12 seconds each, and they decided, I changed my mind. All right. Anyway, going live on the website this week, guys. New property in Chaves County. A third in our series of Roswell-adjacent properties. This is CVNM-2637, located just west of Roswell, just west, in the Buena Vita subdivision. 6 acres at $18,000. Let me quickly say before I get to the property, I researched Buena Vita. I obviously do the write-ups, and I was doing the video, and I probably said or thought or wrote the words Buena Vita about 7,000 times before it finally occurred to me that that means good life. He's a Sharpie. Anyway, guys, so the 2 properties that we have going live this week, let me do the map first. The 2 properties we have going live this week, this first one, they're both kind of niche properties. These will not appeal to everybody who comes to the website on a weekly basis. This one, it's a really good location. So it's about 10 minutes west of Roswell over here. Population about 50,000. So, of course, you'll have easy access to groceries and supplies and whatnot. But this property does sit in an HOA. We always, at the start of these videos, talk about how no HOA, no covenants, no restrictions, no timeline to build, no yearly dues. This one has all of those things. That being said, I am very selective about properties that we buy in HOAs. So I assure you, whatever restrictions it has are light. The HOA itself seems pretty agreeable, pretty easy to deal with. The annual dues are pretty minimal, $75 annually, so on and so forth. Whatever the case, the Good Life subdivision occupies all of this land right here, and I feel like all the land between here and Juarez, Mexico. It's a massive subdivision, and yet it is only this small chunk up here that is developed. So, ergo, that's where we bought land. Anyway, this new property right here, this is the 6 acres right here off of Via del Sol Street. This, by the way, you can't tell it by the map, but it is actually a corner lot, road frontage here along the... we'll call it the western end, as well as road frontage here along the northern end. It's also got property fencing here along the southern boundary. Let's go to the photos, guys. Ba-boom. All right, so this is the Buena Vida Good Life community. As you can see, this is a well-kept, well-maintained area. They've got out here underground utilities and power lines servicing most all the properties in this Unit 1 region, community mailboxes. They've got a basketball court and a tennis court over here. I'm not sure why we didn't get photos of the tennis court, but there you go. And they've got a fire station that is on site out here, etc. These are some of what the developed home sites look like out here. So this is my way of reiterating. This is not a recreational property. This is not a property where you're going to RV or camp. This is a property where you go to build a house, and a pretty nice house at that. So tiny homes are out of the question. I would not be surprised if shipping containers were acceptable in this region. Nice, well-built shipping container homes. I've actually been looking at a lot of those online, and some people do a really good job on that. So, the point being, they do have an architectural control committee out here that gets to approve the building requests of anything in the region. But as you can see by the home sites out here, there's not a lot of aesthetic uniformity between these things. The commonality between them is just that they're all pretty well-maintained, well-kept home sites that, well, basically, I think the HOA does a pretty good job of maintaining property values out here. That's always the benefit of the HOA, is that whatever you're buying, you know, you're going to be able to maintain that equity, because riffraff will not show up and, you know, park a purple school bus in the land next to you and sell drugs and stuff. So, anyway, some water lines in the region. All the home sites I just showed you are supposedly serviced by wells, but there are water lines out here, probably pretty close to that fire station. Underground utilities, these as well as nearby power lines are about 1,000 feet north of the subject property. This is the road out here along Via del Sol. For the record, gang, most all the roads in this region are pretty well paved. This is the main road right here, Tierra Grande Boulevard. Via del Sol is just a little dirt road right off that. Our photographer assured us, however, easy to drive on by any vehicle type. Anyway, more photos of the property. I'll let you guys peruse these. These are the southern boundary postings that mark the property. We've got property boundary markers here. So, of course, you won't have to get the property surveyed. That's always a benefit, always a cost savings, etc. And then, of course, the photos are a little visually redundant this week, guys, I will admit. So just skip ahead down here to the drone, and you'll be able to see the outline of the property, as well as just sort of the kind of privacy that you're going to have. This is a well-portioned subdivision. Each lot is like 5-6 acres, these little ranchettes. So you get a fair amount of land and a good amount of privacy, a good amount of distance between you and the neighbors in a pretty nice community, all within easy driving distance of Roswell. That is property number 1, guys. Property number 2, going live on the website, is in Luna County, guys. We're back in Deming Ranchettes this week with this new one, LNM-0011, 2.5 acres for $1,900. Yes, guys, you heard that right. These 2.5 acres are priced less than what we normally price these 2.5 Deming Ranchette acre lots at, for a variety of reasons. I'll have a video up on the website tonight where I'm just going to kind of discuss not my usual 20-minute dissertation on the history of Deming Ranchettes, but rather just the property specifics. This is, as I said earlier, this is also kind of a niche property. Even if you're looking for land in Deming Ranchettes, this one may not appeal to you, FYI. So I did a kind of video, a little interest of full disclosure thing. Property sits up here in the northeastern part of the subdivision, really, really close to the highway. Our photographer told us that highway noise was not a problem, which I find a little difficult to believe given the proximity to the highway, but if he says so, okay. Whatever the case, it's 5 adjacent half-acre lots all here along Huerfano, and in the video, one of the things that we discuss is, well, it looks like you just kind of bang a sharp right off the highway and get to this land. It's not, in fact, that easy. You have to actually approach it from up here over this bridge, which connects to the 549, and the 549 you access from the freeway back over here. It's all talked about in the video. The point is, guys, it's close to the highway, but it's not necessarily like, oh, I just make a left and I'm on the highway. Additionally, nearest power is roughly about 2,000 feet north. I do not anticipate that that's something that you're going to get extended out to the land. So we're going to call it a solar-friendly property. Whatever the case, this is still within pretty close proximity of Deming over here in the west, as well as Las Cruces in the east. Just right up here in the northern part of the subdivision. So easy access into town if you do decide to develop this in some fashion. I really think that, let me go to the photos. I really think that this property is ideal for getting rezoned in some fashion as some kind of commercial lot. There are actually some lots in this region that have been rezoned that way for commercial purposes. And I think something this close to the highway probably serves to do something like that. Hey, Hemingway, what do I have to do to get something rezoned? A lot of hoop jumping probably, guys, and that's a better question for the county. But point being, this one up here, close to the highway, not easily necessarily like turning off from the highway, but right up there. And 2.5 acres priced better than anybody else has it, and even better than we normally do it, etc., etc. By the way, in this photo, you could kind of see the bridge in the background that you would pass over to get to the land, as well as the RV park, which used to be whatever, residential, and then was rezoned for commercial purposes. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, all right, guys, with all that said, those are the two properties going live on the website this week. More properties coming up next Friday in New Mexico, probably, I believe, I'm pretty sure. We'll see. Anyway, go get some cheesecake, guys. Have a good weekend, and we will see you in next week's videos.